is a very important piece to that team, and he's not going to be around for a month, and that is tough, even with Ja around. I'll start with what occurred in Louisville, Kentucky. It was so great to have that reunion. You would not believe how charged up the city of Louisville was to have this back. Here's a ball club that, honestly, it is in the ACC. They've got new rivalries in the ACC, although, their rival opponent apparently is SMU, and they were not happy about that. They wanted something different. I guess they wanted a more blue-bloody kind of ACC team. But despite that, the fact that their AD and really I asked Penny, and most of the credit he was giving to Ed Scott and to Tim Duncan for getting this deal together, which is a great deal. It is 6 games, home, and maybe 2 neutrals. So I'm guessing one will be Nashville. I don't know where the other would be. Indy? I have no idea where you might put that. But they were charged up. The atmosphere was fantastic. And, maybe the first 8 to 10 minutes of the game were fun. After that, nothing was fun. It was tough to watch. But I will say this. The Louisville offense and the way they play the game is a thing of beauty. It really is. When you look, they made 30 buckets in that game. 24 of those 30 buckets were assisted. They moved the ball with such ease and at such a fast pace. It's tough to defend. And here is where Penny, before the game, was so confident. He had put in a new system, a new defensive system that he thought would be tough for Louisville to get off those threes. Now, they were not. You wonder, and honestly, in the pregame, I can tell big games, Penny gets a little uptight, not very often. He was not. He was relaxed. He really felt this thing was going to work, and it did not. I don't know if there was some confusion over the new system or if Louisville just plays this game so beautifully. And this is such a weird system when 55% of your shots come from beyond the arc. You're turning down good twos to take an open three. You get penetration. You draw folks in. You'd rather have the shot from the corner or the top of the key than from inside the paint. But if you're going to shoot them at 51%, which is what they did against Memphis, you are in big trouble. In the meantime, the Tigers' offense was the opposite. Instead of moving the ball around, which is what you're supposed to do in the Penny game plan, and Louisville's D was pretty good, I will say that, and this is probably sort of what stymied them into iso ball, but that's what they were doing. First it was Hassan Abdul Hakim, then it was Doug McDaniel in the second half, guys just trying to beat guys one-on-one. And that wasn't going to work against a team that's number 11 in the country, 99-73. That is your final. Now, I've seen Memphis teams lose games like this, and the season's not over. In fact, if you were to beat Vandy this week and go to Mississippi State, which may be the easiest of the 4 big games that you were playing in a row, you still have a shot at being an at-large team. And that is your goal. So it's not over yet, but you're going to have to play a lot better. You're not going to face a team as good as Louisville again unless you get in the NCAA tournament. But you can't let this one be 2 or 3 losses. You got to regroup, and I'm sure confidence was shaken. In the meantime, Grizzlies, well, they lose to Utah at home 130-126. You're welcome back, Ja, but you don't have Zach Edey. Ja gets 21 and 10 with 10 assists. That's in 25 minutes. He's on a load management system. You got to with the injuries that he's coming off of. Cam Spencer, I love this guy. He didn't miss. He was 6 of 6 from 3, but it wasn't enough. They did not play great defense. Ja himself said, we were soft, and they were, and they got killed on the boards. They were out-rebounded big, and that did it. So now they're 11 and 14. That was a game. Could have gotten them to within 1 under 500. They were the favorite in the game. I don't know how they're going to solve this problem. I guarantee you they do not get beaten on the boards by Utah if Zach Edey was there. The question is, how do you get Zach Edey healthy? You know, the issue he is struggling with is the reason they did this surgical procedure before the season began was to stabilize that ankle. Now he's having a reaction from that. I haven't been able to talk to my guy Barry Phillips yet, my orthopedic specialist, to get the news. But just on the front end, doesn't that worry you? Here's a guy, gets this procedure, you think that solves the problem, he comes back, he gets in shape, he dominates, I'm thinking, up for the most improved player of the year, and then he's out again. And he's out, by the way, they're not even going to let him play for 4 weeks. And that's just the next evaluation. That is really incredibly tough news. And Ja, I forget the term he used, but it's like you got to cleanse the place. Between the injuries from Memphis, you realize the Grizzlies and the Tigers, none of them have had their full season this whole year. None of them. I don't know what's going on at FedEx Forum. I do know what is going on in Collierville, right here on Byhalia Road and Southern Home Road. Dawn Grader, who had this vision, this is the most beautiful bank building, credit union building I have ever been in. So let me start off, Dawn, by congratulating you on seeing this vision come to fruition, because it is truly a gorgeous building. How did you envision this? Is this what you wanted?
Well, it's what we wanted and more. You know, our vision in the beginning, this was 2 lots that we bought, probably 15 years ago.
Wow.
And, you know, we talked about it, just doing one on the corner, and then we had the lot behind it, and we thought, you know what? We will regret that, because as many people, as I know that have built buildings for headquarters say, oh, always build it bigger and more than what you need, because you'll grow into it. And 5 years down the road, if you don't, you'll wish you had. And
right.
So I was like, okay, well, for us, what happened was COVID. We had all of our approvals with the town of Collierville in December of 2019. We were supposed to break ground in March of 2020, and you know what happened. The world stopped. Right. As along with that, the price of steel and windows and everything, you know, just skyrocketed. So we kind of had to take a step back, kind of had to re-engineer and figure out what we were going to do. Thought about scaling it back at that point, obviously, because of the expense. And we thought, you know what? We're going to regret that. So we drew it the full length of both lots, maximize the space. As you can see, you know, we're right on the edge of the road and all the way to the side of the lot and in the back, that way, because we knew if we didn't, eventually we would regret that we didn't. So, we built it out. It's beautiful. The building is a space that can be used for decades for the organization, as a home, as a headquarters. We built it for the community. There's tons of community space in this building. We've got places where people can have meetings, and we can have parties, and we can have chamber after hours and all kinds of fun things. And we've already had 2 organizations in the community use it. So it's here. It's something for us. It's something for our members. It's something for the community. And it turned out actually more beautiful than we had expected.
It is. It truly is gorgeous. And to emphasize your point about community, I was here. I witnessed the Alzheimer's Association having national people come in that are involved in walks from around the country. Right. And they were sitting in this room, and we were all just astonished at how great it is. You've been my sponsor for many years, and I must confess to you, I never understood the difference between a bank and a credit union until I Googled it this morning. But why don't you tell people exactly what those differences are and why you want to be involved with a credit union? Right.
The credit union is owned by its members, and its members are anybody like you, Dave. If you have $1 in the credit union, you're a member owner. We do not have paid stockholders. We do not have paid board members. Our board members are all volunteers. And so credit unions are not-for-profit organizations that were established back right after the Depression, when people didn't have any faith in the financial industry in America because banks had failed and people had lost money. And so really our mission originally was to go back and educate the public on a safe way to, get financial services through an organization that was indeed insured by the government, but you could be a part of that. And so you're a member, not a customer. You're an owner, so the stockholders, the members, everyone, from the banking side, you're trying to make for profit because you've got all these people you've got to pay. You owe them dividends, you owe them this, you owe them that. In our space, whatever we make, we can give that back to you as a member owner with discounted loan rates and, investment in the community, which is something that we do. So all of our partner organizations, Youth Villages, Le Bonheur, Church Health, all of those organizations that partner with us, what it does is it gives us the ability to offer them affordable financial services that all of their employees and their family members can take advantage of at reasonable rates, and gives them the opportunity to be a part of something where they feel like they have some ownership. And it's great. I was in banking for 25 years, so I clearly understand the difference.
Yeah.
I can come to work every day and we're not so focused on, it's all being about profit and all being about, figuring out how to make money off of people. We can actually help people. We can do what we know. We can provide all the same financial services that you can get in any other organization, but we can do it more affordable, and we can have a relationship with you that if you need something and whatever part of life that you're in, whatever help and assistance that you need, that we're your partner. And you can come to us and say, hey, Dawn, this has happened in my life, because everybody has things that happen. And if you've had a relationship with us for years, it gives us the ability to work with you and talk to you and say, you know what, Dave, we're going to help you work through this, because that's who we are. So it's more about having relationships with people and really helping them fulfill their financial dreams instead of just about making a profit.
Sounds like a much more humanity approach.
Yes.
To the way this works. And I don't know, is it the same credit issues that one might have? I mean, if you're
Absolutely.
more questionable, is it easier to come to you and say, look, this is why my record is the way it is?
That's right. Our mission and our responsibility, we feel like, is to educate, financially educate. So people sometimes will have credit issues, but don't have any idea as to how they got there. Is it fixable? I mean, 9 times out of 10, it can be something very, very simple that we can help you fix to get you where you want to be, but nobody before has taken the time to sit down with you and explain that and help walk you through the steps that you need to go through to get there. So I think the biggest thing for us is we can really show people a path to get where they want to be. And if they've had some sort of a hiccup that they don't understand and don't know why is there, and sometimes it's not even of your making, ends up on your credit and you need some help figuring that out, that's what we do. We want to sit down with you and take time and really understand what your situation is so we can give you the best advice.
And it's obviously working. I don't know exactly when Southern Security started, but I know you're now up to 5 different branches?
Yeah, well, we're at 7. We've got, we're all the way, we're in Mississippi. We opened in Oxford a year and a half ago. South Haven, Greenwood. So we've got a lot of locations in Mississippi as well as in the Memphis, Shelby County area. And so we're really moving, growing, really kind of just trying to expand our footprint and take in other areas. And I think it's working because I think people are looking for another way to do business, and we try to be that partner with you, and you tell me what you want, and we're going to sit down and really try to give you a roadmap as to how to get there.
And you mentioned community orientation before. You are a huge supporter of Tiger Athletics. Sure, we're blue today. I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
But the other thing that you're heavily involved in is 901 Women. Talk a little bit about 901 Women and the importance of that in the community.
901 Women, the actual board was created a couple of years ago. Obviously, it was the anniversary of Title IX. And so that was kind of the focus that year, is creating a network for women's athletics throughout the country. Locally, the leadership at the University of Memphis wanted to form a board of women who were successful business partners of the university, where we could create a network for the coaches and the student athletes in the women's sports at the university. It was a privilege for me to be asked. I had no idea at the time, kind of what I was getting into. So I asked the very first week I was there. I said, I want to tour the facilities. I want to see, where is women's golf? Where's women's softball? Where's the women's soccer team play? And so I went to South Campus, which is where the majority of those sports are played. And I did a tour, and I'll be honest with you, Dave, I was flabbergasted at the conditions of the facilities that these women were being asked to use. We have expectations of them to be as successful as the men in many respects. But they clearly don't have the same resources. And, I set out after that day on a mission to create a better environment. This is not just about the university. It's about those student athletes, but it's also about the city of Memphis. Showing pride in who we are and what we have. Those of us that went to school there, I don't want people coming in and going, wow, this place is a disaster. Yeah. Like, what's going on?
They'll never say this is a dump. I promise you.
Oh, thank you. But, that board set out to see where we could plug in. We went in and put a new floor in the volleyball complex. Southern Security sponsored putting new pads around the women's softball area. We set out, obviously, a year ago in August to build the Liza's Light soccer complex. Which I was also asked to serve on that committee, and with much pleasure, I was happy to do that. That is something that's not just about the University of Memphis. They will be the benefactor of that, but it's about this community. It's about raising awareness and shining the light on something that was probably one of the worst tragedies in our community in our lifetime. It gave everybody the opportunity to come together and all of us heal from that and create a space where we can all come together and celebrate. They are the most accomplished team at the University of Memphis. Brooks Vonnegut is the most accomplished. He has more championships under his belt than any other coach.
Percentage-wise, championship-wise, the greatest coach in the history of the school.
That's exactly right.
And we've had some pretty good coaches.
Absolutely. And so, deserving, yes. But what an honor to serve alongside the family, and really create something that the university and the city of Memphis can be proud of. What a way to, show everyone that, we can move past some of our darkest moments. And we can be on the backside of it. We can be proud that we created something, that everybody can use and be a part of, and a group of kids that have been so successful and really deserve to have a nice facility to play soccer in.
Last thing, your thoughts on NIL, and part of the reason I bring this up is, I talked a little bit about the Louisville-Memphis game.
Yeah.
You look at Louisville's NIL budget for basketball,
right?
It's $14 million.
Yep.
Memphis is just a little more than a third of that. I'm not making the excuse.
Sure.
But that was the number one portal team. They got a one-and-done point guard, and it's all because they got paid.
Right.
Where do you stand on that? I know I hear some Southern Security spots to play on this station that are done by players, so that's NIL money. Right. How do you feel about that?
I think it's made college sports complicated. I think it's made universities throughout the country who were never good at, as you've seen this year, at football or basketball.
Right.
Now all of a sudden they're in the mix. They weren't in the mix before.
Indiana, Vanderbilt, those are great examples.
Exactly, because now we're paying kids to play ball. And so if you can buy the best team and the best players, then you can have some success. For me personally, I grew up clearly in the college sports world, and it's hard for me. We built relationships with players. We went to every basketball game. We went, and
right.
They were going to be there for 3 or 4 years, and you grew with them, and you improved with them, and so that's really changed the landscape of that. From a business perspective, NIL is something that obviously we want the university to be successful, because obviously, the community goes as successful as the university goes. And so we plug in where we can. It's hard every year to ante up money for different players who you're probably not going to see next year. And
right.
So making that make sense from a business perspective can be complicated. What we've tried to do is create and donate where we can be effective to the community and the sport, not necessarily the individual. Plugging into women's basketball and supporting those girls. We had them all here Friday night for a dinner, and supporting the sport and the coach any way that we can that makes sense from our perspective is what we want to do. Are we going to still support? Yes. What that looks like could be different from what others are doing. Are we going to be here? Yes, because is it important to every business in this community that university be successful? Without question. We have got to have good students. We've got to have good graduates. I mean, they're our employees of the
That's
future.
Right.
If we don't,
100%.
if we're not graduating and the university's not doing well, then all of us are looking for good qualified people to work. And that's with every company in this entire community. It's not just about us. We do what we can. I think some of the companies in the community do what they can. Can other people do more? Yes. There's a million different ways where you can plug in and help them. And do things that make sense for your organization, but also help the program. So I think people need to think outside the box. And that's what they always tell me. I went over there myself and created what I thought worked for us, but it was a way to dump a whole lot of money into a whole lot of areas over there that really needed support. So I think everybody needs to look at it from their business perspective, what makes sense for them, how can they go plug in, what can you do to make this work to help make the university successful, make these athletic programs successful, because obviously it benefits all of us if the university does well.
You've plugged in here in Collierville. It will benefit Collierville. Congrats, really.
Thank you.
On a gorgeous building, and you got to get out there to go ribbon
I do,
cut.
and thank you for being here today.
Oh, it's a
and we
pleasure.
love the show, and appreciate y'all taking time to spend the day with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is Dawn Grader. I got to take a break. When we come back, Jeff Moore on the NFL. Oy, oy, oy. What a weekend. Two of the best players gone. We were talking injuries before. Jeff Moore and I get into that in just 1 minute.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, nothing says holiday fun like driving home in an all-new All-Star Chevy. And how about a new Traverse or a Tahoe? Don't miss the Red Tag event here in Olive Branch with big customer cash or financing as low as $0 with your new 26 Silverado or Equinox, because your good credit deserves it. Ask them about the extra $2,000 you can get on a new Colorado if you're driving one of the other midsize trucks. First responders and military get an extra $500 bonus. Look, this Christmas and into the new year, together let's drive what we really want to drive. And come check out All-Star Chevy's huge selection of barely driven certified and the hottest pre-owned vehicles you'll find anywhere. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it here to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. And Drew and everyone here at All-Star Chevy wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas, safe holiday travel, and a Happy New Year. Remember, it's All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Hi, fellas. It's Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and you cannot wait much longer. It's time for action, and you've got to make some decisions now. What are you going to get her? What's going to make her happy? Where are you going to get it? Well, let's make it simple for you. Come see us at Russell Brothers and look at some of the most beautiful jewelry you can find. Look at diamond rings. Look at stacking bracelets or stacking rings. Look for magnificent gold and gemstone earrings, diamonds, sapphires, rubies, emeralds, and so much more. Let us show you our almost endless options. I promise we can put a smile on her face. For over 40 years at the same location, we've been helping Memphis men make those important decisions. Come let us help you figure it out. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, where service, quality, value, and integrity are our values. Come see us at 4646 Poplar at Perkins. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up, it's the Dolphins at the Steelers. With a win over the Ravens, Aaron Rodgers and Pittsburgh now lead the AFC North. For Tua Tagovailoa and Miami, their season turnaround continues with 4 consecutive wins. Join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner on Monday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We welcome you back to Southern Security here in Collierville. Brand new building, ribbon cutting going on in a couple of minutes. Come on out and check this out, and now you know what credit unions are like compared to banks. And if you're looking for a loan, or maybe you haven't been able to buy a house, here's your chance, because this is not for profit. It is really a cool deal. This portion of the show also brought to you by Landers Cadillac of Memphis. The wait's over. The grand opening is here, but the grand opening sales still going on all the remaining new 2024 Escalades. You can get $20,000 in total savings there. And at Landers of Cadillac, you know where it is, right there on Poplar Avenue. They're paying top dollar for trades. See how much you can save with the Landers Easy Pass. You go to CadillacofMemphis.com to check that out. And don't miss out on all the exceptional late grand opening offers. The best new Cadillac models, you know they sell fast. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. This was a tough week in the National Football League. Jeff Moore joins us, the former Vol, the former Ram. I think it's fair to say the two best players, one offense and one defense, both went down with what appears to be ACL injuries from non-contact problems. Seems to me when a guy goes down with a non-contact injury, it's always really bad. It's usually out for the year. So Mahomes, the best offensive player, Micah Parsons, the best defensive player, both out probably for the year.
Yeah, that's it's always tough when you're when your top players go out like that. But, what's fascinating about the Kansas City situation is, of course, they're not going to make the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. Their dominant run has been just epic. And they have got so much retooling to do. I mean, they already weren't the juggernaut that we're accustomed to seeing with the Chiefs. And then to lose their best player at a time when they're going to have to obviously retool, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of moves that organization makes. But then the Packers, the Packers were one of the teams that we recognized had all the ingredients for being a Super Bowl winner. Great defense, best defensive player, pretty good offense. Their quarterback has been playing a lot better. They were scoring a lot better. They beat the Bears, which is their nemesis so far this year, in a very close game last week.
They play, by the way, this Saturday.
Yeah, and they play again this Saturday. So that's going to be fascinating. But this was a team that really was on the heels of really making a push in the playoffs. And with them losing their best defensive player, it's gonna be tough. I mean, it's an uphill climb, and if they don't win the division, they could drop to like the 7th seed and potentially not make the playoffs. I mean, that's a possibility.
Well, Detroit's helping them by losing.
Yeah.
Right. The Rams beating them yesterday.
Yeah.
They also sustained another injury, their best receiver, Watson.
Watson.
Now, they got good news today with him. This may not be a long-term injury. I'm just hoping it's at least one more week.
Yeah.
For the Bears' sake.
Yeah.
That is for sure. Is this the end, you think, of the dynasty that we knew as Andy Reid's and Mahomes and Kelsey's Kansas City Chiefs?
I thought that the dynasty ended in the Super Bowl last year with the way the Eagles just kind of pushed them all over the field, and then we go into this season, and teams are just not intimidated by the aura that was the Chiefs before. They won a lot of close games last year and were able to make it to the Super Bowl with those kinds of wins. This year they weren't winning the close games. This year, when they got their speed receivers back, we thought, hey, they've got their offensive weapons back. Now they're going to make a run, and it just didn't happen. And I think it's a combination of things. Their offense, teams have kind of figured out a little bit how to kind of keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket, and they had a lot of drops from receivers. Travis Kelce is just kind of a shell of himself. I mean, he has not been the third down receiver that they're accustomed to getting them able to move the chains the way he's done in the past. He's not scoring. He wasn't scoring. And it's obvious that he's kind of looking at retirement now. I mean, the way that he plays. So
I think he's distracted by his beautiful fiancée.
Well,
come on.
That's a good reason to be distracted. But, the bottom line is they just weren't the juggernaut that they have been. So, yeah, I think to answer your question,
it's over.
I think their dynasty was over before the season started.
Yeah.
And then you look at Denver. I mean, Denver's now won, 10, 11, 12 straight games. And they're playing with a lot of confidence. They're a great second-half team. They're a young team. Their defense is tenacious. And then the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers are right there. Even though they've been playing kind of wounded most of the year, their quarterback's been hit more than anybody in the league. But they go in and, they beat the Chiefs. They sweep the Chiefs, as a matter of fact.
Well, he's the quarterback, Herbert, is tough.
He's
playing with a broken bone in his non-throwing hand, but you see it's bandaged, and he tries to protect it. He to me, he's a perfect guy for Harbaugh.
He is,
and he is really the heart and soul of that team. But the story, if you're going to talk about quarterbacks this week, no, don't tell me it's Josh Allen, who might be, but it's Phillip Rivers.
It is.
I could not have believed that a guy who hadn't played in 44 years, in 5 years. I know he's 44 years old,
right?
But he hadn't played in 5 years. He's a grandpa. He's literally a grandfather.
Yeah.
Hadn't played in all that time. He's a high school football coach. He gets 4 days of practice with this team. starts and almost wins the game, engineers a drive, they go ahead, and then their defense let them down, and Seattle won the game. He did that in Seattle, and I don't know. Indy probably will not make the playoffs, but who knows now, because this guy showed you what he could do.
He did. Very unusual case for a guy to be out. He had a lot of things working in his favor. Obviously, the knowledge of the Indy offense was huge. He had, worked with that coach a long time, and they kind of really were on the same page as far as the things that they try to do offensively. Phillips Rivers' mentality has always been a warrior mentality. He's going to leave it on the field. He didn't throw a lot of picks. Very, very accurate when he was playing. And it was fascinating to see him get out there and be competitive after 5 years. He may have set a precedent for other guys kind of coming off. And we've had a few other players that have kind of unretired late in the season. I know one of the Eagles, I think, offensive lineman has come back. And that was
they should get the Kelsey brother back because they can't do the tush push without him.
But no, that was the Phillip Rivers story was a great story, but Josh Allen being down 21-0.
I know, against
the Patriots, who were basically looking like they were going to run away with the division and the number one seed, and for him to come back and then score 5 straight touchdowns, and again he's had to be Superman for this team.
MVP
on a number of cases. He's making a strong case for MVP with the way he's played the last month. It's been amazing.
I'm with you. I don't see anybody else. Maybe Drake May,
Stafford,
but he beat Drake May. All right, let's go AFC. So the Bills win at New England, coming from behind, as you just said. Broncos beat Green Bay. They're 12-2. They got the best record in the National Football League. Who's gonna win? Because you got to think Buffalo, New England, Denver. The thing that impresses me, Bo Nix is not chopped liver either.
Yeah.
People don't think he's any good. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And their defense is what does it. Who's going to end up winning that thing?
This is the year I think that the Bills could do it. The Chiefs have been their nemesis for the last few years, and with the way Josh Allen is playing. It's going to be now the challenge. It would be great if they could win the division because they could have some at least a home game, and then possibly not have to go on the road to win. But I like them. But it's not a big difference between them. It's nobody that has a huge lead in the AFC. I think Denver is going to be right there. The Patriots going to be right there. I mean, the Patriots, I think, are a very competitive, well-disciplined team. It's going to be fascinating in the AFC. But I give the Bills, the way that they're playing, the way that they're winning, just a razor edge in the AFC.
NFC, here we go. You got the Rams. They beat Detroit, and Detroit's a pretty good team. They're the number 1 seed. The Bears clobbered Cleveland. Look, they beat Shedeur Sanders. I hate to say it, but it's a tough year for Cleveland. That's a third-string quarterback, and he looked like that yesterday. Yeah. Seattle, as we just talked about in their game with Indy and Phillip Rivers, they end up getting that thing. So they're 11-3. Who comes out of the NFC?
Well, it's going to be interesting because, the Rams and the Seahawks play this Thursday. That's going to be a huge game. Right now, I think the Rams are showing the best balance, offense and defense. Seattle has really been playing well. I like what they're doing. I would say it's going to be between those two teams right now with the way that they're playing. So we'll have to see. San Francisco is in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, you got to put them in there. I think you got to put the Bears in there. We'll see what they're like with Green Bay on Saturday.
Yeah,
Green Bay. I think with the loss of Micah Parsons, and if Watson doesn't come back 100%, that team seems vulnerable to me now.
They are very vulnerable, and of course they'll play the Bears again, and we'll see. But if the Bears win the division, again, the Bears to me have the formula to also be successful in the playoffs. Decent defense, good running game, quarterback that's trending upward. You know, I think with his coaching, you don't see Caleb Williams turning the ball over. He's making good decisions with the football for the most part. He had that bad interception last week, but I think you do that play 9 out of 10 times he makes that throw.
He looked good yesterday, that is for sure. Last thing, Monday Night Football, Pittsburgh's got to win because Baltimore did yesterday. They got to win to stay ahead of the Baltimore Ravens, and the only way those two teams get in is by winning the division. They beat Miami tonight. Do they stay ahead?
Man, Miami has won 4 games, I think, in a row since everybody kind of wrote them off. And the Steelers have just been so unpredictable and up and down, and offense plays okay. I like the Dolphins' chances, and the way the season has gone, you know, who would have thought the Falcons would beat Tampa? I mean, even though their division rivalry. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Dolphins upset Pittsburgh. I really don't. They have not been consistent.
Jeff Moore with the bold prediction. Thank you for coming out here. We appreciate it as always. Jeff Moore on the National Football League and on his Vols usually, but we're not talking Vols today. That is for sure. Jeff, brought to you by the Commissary. You know I'm talking Commercial Appeal's #1 barbecue, whether you're getting it in Collierville, not too far from here, right at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or whether you're talking about the original, that little beautiful, cozy spot in the heart of old Germantown. It's just a place to go. As the Commercial Appeal did this little tournament, they were the winner, and now they got this new all-you-can-eat buffet in Collierville for lunch. It's under $16, 3 proteins, always chicken and pork will be in there, 5 sides, a salad, a drink, all again. For under $16 in this day and age for a lunch like that? Are you kidding me? That's what you get. Either place, Germantown or Collierville for the Commissary. And don't forget, your Christmas party, your Hanukkah party, your holiday party, best place is to either get it catered by the Commissary or go to either of their places. The Collierville place, huge. They got all kinds of party rooms. All you got to do is call and ask. And if you want that ham or that turkey to be the hero at your holiday dinner, just order now, never too early. That's the Commissary. We've moved the Family Leisure Studio to Southern Security, this wonderful credit union out here in Collierville. Byhalia. Here's the key. If you go, don't come here for this, go there. Go to Witten Road and I-40 because the hot tub sale, the in-stock patio sale, it's still going on. You can get a hot tub for just an unbelievable price, under $1,500. And if you mention us, you get a free gift. Now, I know this for a fact. You get a free gift from Family Leisure. It's valuable. It's a good gift. So go mention us wherever you go. And the in-stock patio furniture is 50% off. If it's in the place, it's half off. Go see Billy. Go see Lindsay. Tell them we sent you to Family Leisure. We're back in a minute. We've got medals. Landon Schmidt and I will divvy out the good and the bad in just a minute.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Remember the song How Many More Times? That's right, the title of a song that fits in right with what I always tell people. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Ben Store Realtors. Before you put your house on the market, I always tell people to talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers to not only find out what they think of your home and its pricing, but more important, what they will do for you. And make sure that I am one of them. There are keys to my highly successful strategic marketing program that involve preparing your house for the market and being able to present it before any objections take place. I've done this for a long time, and my professional team has one goal in mind, to get you to the closing table making as much money as possible. But first, remember what people often say: when you want the job done, call Shell Done at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Remember, how many more times? That's Shell Done at MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546, and tell me the name of the band that sang that song.
Ken Garland, you are in your 72nd year of business. Your son William is now joining you. What do you think is the key to your longevity in the building business?
My dad started the business in 1965, and I think being on the job sites daily and being accessible to homeowners has been a key to our success.
You guys have a work ethic, as you like to say. You're not hiring people to be on the site. You guys are there every day.
We interact with the subcontractors multiple times a day on each job site. I think that has been a key, as well as using the same subcontractors 20 plus years in most cases.
When you talk about materials, what is the first thing you're thinking about when somebody comes to you to build a home?
We're just trying to meet the expectations of the client and the homeowner and the architect and give them what their dream is.
When you get a Ken Garland home, what do you guarantee?
We'll be there after the job is finished. We're still accessible to all our clients.
Now I need to know, how do I get a hold of Ken Garland?
You can reach us at kengarland.com.
Celebrate the new year with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl as we welcome the nationally ranked Navy Midshipmen and the Cincinnati Bearcats to the biggest party in town. Great football and a halftime show featuring country music star Matt Stell. It's all happening at the 67th AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on Friday, January 2nd at 3:30. Get your tickets today by calling 795-7700. During the holidays, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
If you, yes you, had designed the perfect place to have a cold drink, enjoy some conversation, and maybe catch a game, you probably would have designed something like Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect downtown neighborhood bar. You would have thought of a place where everyone is a grown-up, a place like Bell Tavern where you can do the thing you most want to do in a bar, relax, have an ice cold beer or a signature cocktail, and maybe make some new friends while enjoying the game. It's that simple. If you designed your kind of bar, you would have designed Bell Tavern.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Just listening to Dennis Philippi, I don't think anybody could have ever designed a better bank building or financial institution than this one. I'm not making that up. Come see the folks, Southern Security, right here at Pahalia Road and 385, and you're going to go, Wolo, you're not kidding. This place is absolutely gorgeous. We're going to do medals in a minute. They're brought to you by ATC Fitness. ATC Fitness, 18 locations around the Memphis area. 18. There's one in your neighborhood. Family-owned business, so it feels like home. Always the newest equipment. Always clean as can be. Never a commitment. No contracts necessary. Just the best way to stay in shape. ATC Fitness. Exercise your right to look good. Who look good? Who look bad? Let's get to medals, Landon Schmidt. I got to give a bronze medal to the Texas A&M volleyball team. They make the Final Four. How did they do that? They upset Nebraska. This is the same Nebraska that has won 5 national titles, that had not lost this year. They were 33-0. Now they're 33-1. They're out. And A&M is in the volleyball Final Four. I got to give a silver medal to the San Antonio Spurs. They upset Oak City in the semifinals of the NBA Cup. Wembanyama came back. And you know what? When you look at these two teams, the young Spurs with Wembanyama and Castle and all those great players, and then you look at OKC, the defending champions, and the start that they've had, I know it's all Western Conference, but my gosh, is that not the future of the NBA? Those two teams could literally be great for the next 10, 12 years, depending on if they can keep everybody. That was amazing. Silver medal to Phillip Rivers, the 44-year-old grandpa. Hadn't played in 5 years. To me, that's the most amazing part of it. You have not played football in 5 years, and you come out of nowhere, practice with a team for 4 days, and then you start. and you almost win the game, and it's not your fault you didn't win the game. That was your defense that let down the Indy Colts yesterday in Seattle. That's just an unbelievable story. We'll remember that, I think, forever, what Phillip Rivers did, especially, let's say he engineers them into the playoffs. My goodness, that would be amazing. 2 gold medals. Along the theme of unretired people, gold medal to Lindsey Vonn, 41 years old, retired from the game 2.5 years ago because of knee pain and injuries. She ends up getting a knee replacement and then comes back 2.5 years later, wins a downhill, sets her up to make the Olympic team. 41. Gotta love that story. And I gotta give a gold medal to the Louisville Cardinals offense. The way they pass, 24 assists on 30 made buckets. How about their depth? We talk about Memphis's depth. Out of the first 11 threes that were made in that game, 8 of them were made by reserves. That's unheard of, too. That style, that ability to make those threes, and the way they played them the other day, they get a gold medal from me. Landon?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll right here. I'm gonna give a bronze medal to Phillip Rivers' return, not just because I don't think it was deserving of a bronze medal. It definitely should have been silver, but I just couldn't wait to talk about it any longer. At 44 years old, with 4 practices, taking 5 years off, he goes out there, throws a touchdown pass in the National Football League, which was more than Patrick Mahomes threw last Sunday. An incredible moment for him. The fact that he actually led them to a place where they could actually score and potentially win the game is absolutely incredible for his return. I'm giving a bronze medal to the Washington Huskies and their passing attack in the LA Bowl. DeMond Williams, 215 yards, 4 TDs, and his main target was Denzel Boston, who is the son of former NFL receiver David Boston, who had 126 yards receiving and a touchdown in that game. It was all Washington in that bowl game. They completely rolled over them. And I have to also give a bronze medal, and this is more of just a shout out for this guy, but I'm giving one to Jacoby Brissett, who's been quarterbacking for the Arizona Cardinals these past few weeks. Yes, the Cardinals have not been winning, but he has been playing really good football. He had 249 yards and 3 TDs, and in his last 5 games, he had 452 yards passing, 317, 301, 271, and 249. I mean, the guy's going out there, and he's putting on a show week after week. The only problem is that he's not winning, so only a bronze medal for him. Going over to a silver, I'm giving a silver to Bo Nix, 302 yards, 4 TDs, and the 12-2 Broncos. Beating a real contender team in the Packers makes you believe in this Broncos team just a little bit more. I'm going to also give a silver medal to Trevor Lawrence, who showed up in that game.
Oh, yeah.
330 passing yards, 5 TDs. He even led the team in rushing with 51 yards rushing and a touchdown there. He did absolutely incredible. I'm giving a silver medal. I couldn't give a gold to him because somehow they ended up losing this game. But Steph Curry with 48 points and 12 three-pointers in their game against the Blazers. Somehow they still lost that game, but Steph Curry looked incredible in that game, and this is just for me. I'm giving a silver medal to Cam Ward and the touchdown pass he had to Jeffrey Simmons and their loss to the 49ers.
Wait a second.
Come on,
You're going to give
Dave.
Cam Ward a silver?
Oh,
you only gave Phillip Rivers a bronze?
Well, I told you.
This is tainted logic.
I told you I couldn't wait any longer to give shout-outs to Phillip Rivers. I wanted to give him a silver, but I just had to mention him quickly. But this is also because, I mean, this Titans team has been struggling, but the way that touchdown pass came to being was just incredible. It was amazing. He was scrambling around. Jeffrey Simmons made adjustments in the end zone and made a great catch for the touchdown. It was just really exciting to see. I love seeing that kind of stuff out there. We have nothing else to lose, so why not get Jeffrey Simmons out there? So I have 2 gold medals. The first one is going to Luka Doncic, who is first in the NBA, averaging 34.7 points per game. He has been going crazy all year long, and he had 29 points in their win over the Phoenix Suns. And then I have to give a gold medal. I believe you gave them a silver, but the Spurs defeating the Thunder in OKC's second loss of the year, only their second loss of the year. And the Spurs had 4 guys with 20-plus points in that game, including Victor Wembanyama. So big shout out to them, and that is my final gold medal.
All right, I got a couple of rusts. The first one goes to the Tigers' 3 defense. I mean, let's face it. You give up 18 threes. That's the most in at least 30 years. It's the second most in school history. And you give it up at a 51.5% rate. Now, I give Penny credit. I mean, he came in and he tried changing the defense knowing they averaged 35 attempts from three. 55% of their attempts come from three. That's exactly what they did in this game. 35 attempts. Maybe he confused them. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way Louisville played. Maybe they got better athletes because they got a $14 million NIL compared to about a third of that with Memphis. But you got to play harder and better than that. So I give their 3D because they won a lot of other categories. They won even in the boards. They won points in the paint. They won second chance points. But they didn't win because they gave up 18 threes at 51.5%. And then Dylan Brooks gets my final rust. You know, Phoenix has the two bad guys, Dylan Brooks and Grayson Allen, both former Grizz players. But Dylan Brooks can really play. I mean, and he does have this fierce competitive spirit. He just hates LeBron James. There's no question about that. And he got two technicals. The first one wasn't the one that knocked him out of the game because that came late with 12 seconds left. But the first one really helped spur up the Lakers to get them back in the game. It's that kind of stupid stuff that kills you, and that's why I got to give the greatest heel in the NBA a rust.
Yeah, that's a good rust for him. Well, I have two rusts as well. My first one is could it look any worse for this Raiders team? Apparently it can. Kenny Pickett looked absolutely terrible going in for Geno Smith. Only 64 yards passing and an interception. And Ashton Genty, once again, did not look great. Only 35 yards on the ground, which is not all his fault. The offensive line just needs to do something to get his ground game going. And Brock Bowers, clearly the best player on that team. He still gets the ball in his hands, but there's just nothing positive to look at when you look at this Las Vegas Raiders team. And then my final rust has to be just the terrible news with the ACL tears going on in the NFL. Both Patrick Mahomes and Michael Parsons are now done this year. The Chiefs are now out of playoff contention. This is a huge blow to the Green Bay Packers defense in that game. So you hate to see stuff like this, and especially with how both of these teams have been shaping out this year. Those are two big losses for the NFL and for both of these teams.
I mean, arguably, you could say the two best players, one on offense, one on defense in the National Football League. Good stuff, Landon Schmidt. Thank you very much. And that'll do it for us. We got to thank Dawn Grader for having us out here. Got to thank Brian Takis for getting up early and setting all of this up. Usual lineup tomorrow. We'll see you then. Johnny Radio in studio. He comes your way next. Have a great day, everybody.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Your Memphis Tigers men's basketball team is home for a huge non-conference matchup Wednesday, December 17th at 6 o'clock as the Tigers take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. Show your Tiger pride and pack out FedEx Forum as Coach Hardaway and his team host a regional SEC opponent. Get your ticket